Will 2025 be the year of the tiny smartphone? We can't say for sure, but word has it that Apple and Samsung could unveil ultra-thin phones next year. We heard reports of a tiny iPhone model in May 2024, an iPhone 17 Air, as some name it. Not to be outdone, Samsung may be creating a Galaxy S25 Slim. This might look like another case of Samsung trying to Apple jealous, but that isn't the topic of this video. I'm not against a slimmer Samsung flagship, although a smaller one would have been a wonderful fit for our best small phones list. Instead, I believe a super slim Samsung Galaxy S phone has plenty of potential to be interesting. However, I think the implementation of the Galaxy S25 Slim could leave much to be desired. The battle to develop the tiniest smartphone peaked roughly a decade ago. Apple had the 6.9mm iPhone 6, which is still their thinnest phone. Samsung handed us the 6.8mm Galaxy S6 flagship and the 5.9mm Galaxy A8 mid-range variant. However, the thinnest phones were the Vivo 4.75mm S5 Max and the Oppo 4.85mm R5s. Thin designs were trendy back then, not simply for their practical merits. A thin profile signified you owned the latest innovation at a time when smartphones were becoming vital aspects of our life. But the trend faded away. Phones grew bigger and thicker over the years to fit better cameras and bigger batteries. The normal thickness of a modern flagship phone is between 7 and 9mm. This isn't horrible, although it's pretty difficult to enjoy with today's gigantic camera bumps. I won't be the first to point out that most phones look and feel the same. There isn't much wrong with it. But this homogenized smartphone industry feels fairly boring. I believe an ultra-thin phone will stand out in a sea of sameness. While it won't draw the attention of extreme aficionados, it may interest folks who emphasize style and look. The anticipated iPhone 17 Air sounds targeted for the same user segment. In addition to being an adequate alternative, a Galaxy S25 Slim might be an opportunity for Samsung to outshine its rival. Some fans will be angry with Samsung seemingly ripping off Apple. But having an answer to a competitor's product could be a better tactic than having nothing to show. In a saturated market, this may help Samsung retain customers. That's the image I get after hearing news stories about the cameras each gadget could feature. While things are far from official, it looks like Samsung is attempting to emulate the camera configuration of its finest camera phone with the Galaxy S25 Slim. Meanwhile, the iPhone 17 Air concentration on thinness may limit what Apple can really offer on this new phone, and that encompasses the cameras as well. It's too early to draw any solid conclusions about the contrasting methods and what that will mean for the respective products that Samsung and Apple produce. But from the data spilling out of both sides, it does sound like Samsung isn't disregarding the aspects that make smartphones such crucial devices in the cause of developing a cell phone that's thinner. Over the weekend, phone leaker Ice Universe on X cited the Samsung Galaxy S25 Slim plans. It's just one person's perspective, of course, though the leaker does have a rather good track record when it comes to revelations about new Samsung phones. The difference between Samsung Galaxy Slim and iPhone Slim models is that Samsung wants to make the camera stronger than S25, and more similar to the idea of Vivo X200 Pro Mini, not just thin and light. Ice Universe stated. Announced last month for release in China, the Vivo S200 Pro Small includes a triple camera configuration, with a trio of 50 megapixels, sensors serving as the main, ultra-wide and telephoto lenses. Drawing comparisons with that device would seem to suggest that Ice Universe expects a similar rear camera configuration on the Galaxy S25 Slim. Whether that means Samsung has worked out a way to accommodate 3 cameras on the rear of its slimmed-down phone is uncertain. But the hint that the Galaxy S25 Slim will have a more capable camera arrangement than the larger Galaxy S25 means that we should expect some high-resolution sensors. Rumors also indicate that the S25 to maybe switch to a Sony sensor for its main camera, but otherwise, it's predicted that the next phone would match the Galaxy S24's rear camera features. A 50 megapixels main camera, 12 megapixels ultra-wide camera, and 10 megapixels telephoto lens with a 3x optical zoom. In comparison, one Galaxy S25 Slim rumor that's emerged thus far tips the Slim to contain a 200 megapixels main camera sensor. That would match what the Galaxy S24 Ultra delivers, and it would surely qualify as being stronger than the S25. If the Galaxy S25 Slim has additional cameras like ultra-wide and telephoto lenses, all the better, even if those specs are more in line with the normal S25. Camera speculations are less elaborate with the iPhone 17 Slim, which is also being billed as the iPhone 17 Air in some areas. With Apple purportedly striving to produce the thinnest iPhone ever, certainly thinner than the iPhone 16 and its 7.8mm thin chassis, there may not be any room for more than one camera. A recent story about potential iPhone 17 Air specs in the information is the latest to make that lone rear camera allegation. Meanwhile, another leak out of Korea includes designs for the camera modules scheduled for the iPhone 17 Pro, seemingly indicating that telephoto lenses will remain a Pro-only feature. In other words, no dedicated zoom lens for the iPhone 17 Slim. Should Apple take that path, it's unlikely that the iPhone 17 Air would be like Apple's other single-camera handset, the iPhone SE 2022. That low-cost phone contains a single 12 megapixels camera that doesn't even allow night photography. Instead, the common anticipation is that the iPhone 17 Air would use the 48 megapixels main camera present on the iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Plus. Doing so would allow the iPhone 17 Air to use cropping on zoom images to successfully replicate a 2x optical zoom, which would take some of the sting out of having just one rear camera. The iPhone 16 is undoubtedly a terrific camera phone in its own right, so it wouldn't be a hardship if the iPhone 17 Air equals that device's photo-taking capabilities. But part of the iPhone 16's attractiveness as a camera phone is that it provides high-quality photographs, while costing a relatively modest $799. At least one iPhone 17 Air-priced rumor suggests the skinny phone to rival the iPhone 16 Pro Max in terms of pricing. That's a lot to pay for a phone that can only match your least expensive flagship in terms of camera quality. Most Galaxy S25 Slim rumors peg the phone to ship close to June 2025, while the iPhone 17 Slim wouldn't come until the fall, assuming those phones are coming at all. In other words, we've had several months of rumors that might fill in even more specifics. The iPhone 17 Air could provide more than simply the tiny design that's dominated speculation so far, while the Galaxy S25 Slim cameras could turn out to be not that amazing after all. But there's no overlooking the reality that cameras are a key feature of any smartphone, slim or otherwise. And based on the rumors that have emerged so far, only one phone maker seems to be acknowledging that. So that's all we know for now. We'll be sure to keep you updated as soon as we have more information. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.